Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today is Sunday the 27th of October 2019. My name is Dan Kita from Thailand. In this video, I would like to talk about the true Dhamma or Nirvana for only people who have the most wisdom. If you are a real person who want to attain Nirvana in this life, you have to listen to me early because I have attained Nirvana for past 15 years. I'm ready to help everyone on this earth attain Nirvana in this life as well. I'm ready. But are you ready? It's up to you. The topic to speak in this video is we see and think at the same time. Can we realize that we are thinking? You know, the story I will say the following for everything I have already said. I want you to understand only the thought. Until you can realize your thought, that means you find the way to end of all suffering. Nothing more to study than this. Please bear in mind. From now on, I would like to talk about we see and think at the same time. Can we realize that we are thinking? Let me explain. What you see over here now, you see in the way you see. You hear in the way you hear. Can you understand me? You see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear, and you think in the way you think. Can you understand me? It cannot tell each other. What do we see? What do we hear? What do we think? When we think with our fictional language. Can you understand me? What you see right here now in everyday life, you see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear, and you think in the way you think. We see and think at the same time in everyday life. Can you realize as your thought that we are thinking now? What you see right here now? It doesn't mean anything. It not be anything. You see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear, and you think in the way you think. As soon as you see what you see now, as soon as you see, as soon as you see, as you see, as soon as you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see and hear. As soon as you see, as soon as you see and hear, then you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see over here, and ended up at you satisfy or not satisfy. If the matter of the idea is pleasing, it becomes happiness. But if the matter of the idea is not likable, it becomes suffering. Can you understand me? In everyday life, what you see or hear now, we see and think at the same time all the time from birth to death. We see and think at the same time from birth to death. But we cannot realize our thought that we are thinking now. Can you understand me? As soon as you see this, I show you this. We call this. We call this. What you see or hear now on the table, we call this. We say this. We don't say everything. We use the word this, TSIS, this. Because what you see or hear now in everyday life from birth to death, it doesn't mean anything. It's not mean anything. Can you understand me? Then, within a fraction of a second, we interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see or hear. Can you understand me? We interpret and give the meaning. We interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see or hear in the way you think. Can you understand me? When you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see, it without fictional language, it's naturally. When you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see or hear, it without fictional language, it's naturally. You see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear, you think in the way you think. It cannot tell each other what do we think, what do we hear, what do we see. Because everything you have seen or heard, we call this. It doesn't mean anything. We don't say everything. We say this. TSIS, this. I show you like this. We call this. It doesn't mean body gesture. No. What you see now, we call this. This is very simple to understand. But we were taught to believe. If I show you like this, in the fictional language, we call I'm playing a guitar. No. If someone asks you, if someone asks you, what do you see? You will answer by use the fictional language to answer. You answer, I saw a man playing a guitar. Because you were taught to believe in the meaning of the language. In reality, what you see or hear now is without fictional language. You see or hear in the way you see, in the way you hear. You think in the way you think. It's really simple to understand. In this talk, I want you to understand only the thought. Can you understand me? In this talk, I want you to understand only the thought. Until you can realize your thought. This is. The ultimate wisdom in Buddhism to end all suffering, please bear in mind. I show you. Like this. It doesn't mean anything. You see in the way you see, and then as soon as you see, you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see. It means I'm dancing. The word I'm dancing is just the fictional language. The meaning of I'm dancing does not really exist. Where can I find the meaning of I'm dancing? Where can I find the meaning of I'm playing guitar? What you see right here now you see in the way you see, and then you think in the way you think at the same time. What you see right here now, you see and think at the same time. Can you realize your thought? Can you realize your thought? Now, you see and think at the same time. You see in the way you see. I show you. You see in the way you see. I show you like this. I show you like this. I show you like this. You see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear. And then, within a fraction of a second, you interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see. Can you understand me? And then, you interpret. I show you. You see now. You interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see. Can you understand me? You think in the way you think. I show you like this. In the fictional language, we call I'm playing a guitar. I show you like this. In the fictional language, we call I'm playing guitar. The word I'm playing guitar, it does not really exist. The meaning of I'm playing guitar, it does not really exist. Because we were taught to believe from birth to death. Because we were taught to believe from birth to death. When you see like this, it means I'm playing guitar. No, not at all. I show you like this. We call, you see this, you hear this, you hear this, you see this, you think this. Can you understand me? I show you like this. We were taught to believe this gesture is mean I'm playing a guitar. No, not at all. Not at all. What you see now, we call this. You see in the way you see. You hear in the way you hear. It doesn't mean anything. But we were taught to believe. When we see this gesture, it means I'm playing a guitar. The word I'm playing a guitar It does not really exist. It has no meaning as we understand it. I want to ask you, the word I'm playing a guitar, what does it mean? I want to ask you, the word I'm playing a guitar, what does it mean? I said it. Does it sound strange? Because you have never heard someone say like me before. Can you understand me? I'll show you. We call this. But in the fictional language, we call a God. It depends on how we want to teach to believe. This is a God. We were taught to believe this is a God. It depends on how we want to teach to believe. If we want to teach to believe, now we name it a God. Tomorrow we maybe change the name to this is a bottle of water, a book, a guitar. What you see now, we call this. You know, as soon as you see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear. As soon as you see, you think and interpret by give the meaning and value to what you see. It means a God because you were taught to believe this. It means a God. Where can I find the meaning of a God? What you see? What you see now? You see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you think into the fictional language, which we call a cat. What you see now, we call this. And you think into the fictional language, we call a cat. What you see now, it doesn't mean anything, but you think by give the meaning and value to what you see. It means a cat. Can you realize as your thought? You think. What you see over here now, you think it into the fictional language we call a cat. But in reality, what you see in the way you see. It doesn't mean it without fictional language to say. Can you understand me? And you think in the way you think. What you see now when you think. Can you realize when you think by interpret? When you think by interpret, by give the meaning and value to what you see. You think it into something. You never think it into a cat. What you see now, you see in the way you see. And then within a fraction of a second, you think it into something. We call something. Now we call something. Something, it depends on how we want to teach to believe. The something, it means a cat, a book, a guitar, a bottle of water. The word a book, a guitar, a cat, a book, a guitar, a cat, a God, it does not really exist. What you see in the way you see. What you see in the way you see. and you think in the way you think. You have never think into a cat. You have never used the fictional language say to ourselves, this is a cat. What you see now, it doesn't mean anything. As soon as you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you think it into something. You have never think it into a cat, because the word a cat is just a fictional language. It depends on how we want to teach to believe. This we were taught to believe this thing is mean a cat. In reality, you think it into something you can understand. You understand in the way you understand. You think in the way you think. You see in the way you see. You hear in the way you hear. What you see now? What you see now? You see in as soon as you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you think it into something. Can you understand your thought that we are thinking? And then within a fraction of a second, you think it into something. You have never think it to the word a cat. When as soon as you see this word, you think it into this picture. As soon as you see this word, which wrote that this is a cat, you think it into this picture. But as soon as you see this picture, it doesn't have this word. As soon as you see this picture, you see in the way you see, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have the fictional language, but you understand in the way you understand. You think in the way you think. You see in the way you think. As soon as you see in the way you see, and you think in the way you think without use the fictional language. We have never used the fictional language say to ourselves, I saw a cat. No. I show you it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a cat. It doesn't mean a guitar. It doesn't mean a book. I have to borrow the language to say this. As soon as you see, it doesn't have this word. But as soon as you see this word, it means this picture. Why? Because we were taught to believe this verse, which wrote that this is a cat. It means no. It depends on how we want to teach to believe. Today, we were taught to believe this word. It means this picture. Tomorrow, we were taught to believe this word. It means this. Tomorrow, we were taught to believe this word. It means this. But this, it doesn't mean a bottle of water. But we were taught to believe this. It means a bottle of water. Where can I find the meaning of a bottle of water? Today we were taught to believe this word. It means tomorrow we were taught to believe this word. It means it means it means it means this thing. It means this thing. I show you this. It may be mean. This word. It may be mean this. Or this. This word. This is a cat. It may be mean. It may be mean like this. What do you see right here now? We see in the way we see, we hear in the way we hear. We call this. When you hear the sound, bah, 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 there will be this picture in your thought. When you hear the sound, bah, bah, there will be this picture in your thought. You know, this picture, it doesn't mean a goat. When you hear the sound, there will be this picture in your thought. This picture, it doesn't mean a cat. You think in the way you think, you see in the way you see. When you hear the sound, meow, 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 there will be this picture in your thought. Can you realize your thought that we are thinking? We see and think at the same time. We see and think at the same time from birth to death. But we cannot realize our thought that we are thinking. Can you understand me? When you hear the sound, bah, 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 there will be this picture in your thought. This, we call this. It doesn't mean a goat, but we were taught to believe. Bah, bah, this sound, it means this. But this, it doesn't mean a goat. The word a goat is just a fictional name. The word a goat is just a fictional name. It was created by humans on this earth for understanding, communication, temporary. Where can I find the meaning of a goat, a cat? As soon as you see this, as soon as you see it, and then you think in the way you think. As soon as you see this, and then within a fraction of a second, you think in the way you think. You have never think into the word a cat. Can you understand me? As soon as you see it, you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, we have never used the fictional language say to ourselves, this is a bottle of water. You understand in the way you understand. You think in the way you think. This, it doesn't mean a bottle of water, but we were taught to believe this is a bottle of water. Can you understand me? I show you. my wife. I show you. My son, my wife. What you see now? From now on, please listen meticulously to the explanation for understanding. After that, you see. After that, you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you think in the way you think, and then within a fraction of a second, you think it into the fictional language. You think it into written language. Which wrote that? My son, my wife. Because you were taught to believe this word which wrote. We were taught to believe. When you see this word which wrote that, we spell MYSON, my son, and read it, my son. As you see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you think at the same time. You see in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second at the same time, you think this. It doesn't mean my wife. No. It doesn't mean my wife. Because we were taught to believe this, it means my wife. Where can I find the meaning of my wife? My property. Where can I find the meaning of suffering? Happiness? No, not at all. The meaning of my property, my property, happiness, suffering, my wife, my son, anger. All as I show you, it does not really exist. This word, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't really exist. It's just the fictional language we were taught to believe. I think that you see in the way you see, and then you think at the same time. You think this into the letter M, letter Y, letter S, letter O, letter N, and spell MYSON, and read it, my son. The word my son, what does it mean? Where can I find the meaning of my son? The word my son, what does it mean? Where can I find? Can you understand me? As soon as you see in the way you see, and then you think at the same time, because you see this. You think at the same time because you see this. You think this into this. As soon as you see, we call you see in the way you see this. And then you think at the same time because you see this. it doesn't mean this verse. But in the fictional language, we call this verse, which wrote that a bottle of water, you interpret into letter A, letter B, letter O, letter T, T, L, E, water. As soon as you see in the way you see, as soon as you see in the way you see, and think at the same time, because you see this, it means this. We were taught to believe this. It means this. This you see in the way you see. This you see in the way you see. But you believe that you see. The first one is you see. The first one is you see in the way you see. The second one is you see, which in the fictional language we call a bottle of water for understanding communication temporarily. We were taught to believe this. It means this. But in reality, the second one, you see in the way you see, it doesn't mean anything, but we call this. And this, we call this word a bottle of water. The meaning of the bottle of water is does not really exist, but we were taught to believe in the meaning of it. Now, the first one is, as soon as you see, the first one, you see in the way you see. The second one is, you see in the way you see. We call this word. You interpret this word into this because you were taught to believe this word. It means this. But in reality, I show you, we call this. It doesn't mean a bottle of water. It depends on how we want to teach to believe. Today we call a bottle of water. Tomorrow we call a book, a pen, a guitar. Can you understand me? It doesn't mean anything. This. You read it. A bottle of water. It doesn't mean. And this. It doesn't mean what you see now. It doesn't mean a bottle of water. Can you understand me? You know, a story in this talk, I want you to understand only the thought. Because the thought is the heart of quenching. It's the heart of quenching. It's the heart of quenching of suffering. Can you understand me? You see, in the way you see, and then within a fraction of a second, you interpret into this. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean paper box. It doesn't mean paper box. It doesn't mean written language which wrote that a bottle of water. The word paper box. The word a bottle of water, it does not really exist. You see in the way you see as first. As soon as you see, the first one is you see this. The second one is you see this, which we call written language, which wrote that a bottle of water. The word a bottle of water is just a fictional language. Further understanding communication temporarily, it does not really exist. Can you understand me? I show you like this. It doesn't mean anything. We call this. But in the fictional language, we call, I'm telling a paper, and I show you like this. I show like this. It doesn't mean anything. We call this TSIS. But in the fictional language, we call I'm folding a paper. That first understanding communication temporarily. Where can I find the meaning of I'm folding a paper? I'm unfold. I'm folding. I'm unfold. Where can I find the meaning of folding? Where can I find the meaning of I'm tearing a paper? I show you like this. We call this. I show you like this. We call this. You see in the way you see. You hear in the way you hear. At first you see. At first you see. As soon as you see. At first. The first one you see and hear. The first one you see and hear at the same time. The first one you see and hear at the same time. And then within a fraction of a second, you interpret by give the meaning and value into I'm playing a guitar, because you were taught to believe this gesture. It means I'm playing a guitar. You know, the word I'm playing guitar, we may be how it depends on how we want to teach to believe. If we want to teach to believe this gesture, if we want to teach to believe, how does the word teach me to believe? I will believe it. I show you like this. It may be mean we call bong nước cung sải. I show you like this. We call bong nước cung sải. Or maybe we call I'm playing a guitar. I show you like this. Maybe call I'm playing guitar. I show you like this. We call I'm playing a guitar. Or maybe we call bong nước cung sải. Have you ever heard someone say like me before? I say this. Does it sound strange? If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, you have to listen to me only, because I'm only one person on this earth who talk about this. Can you understand me? I try to talk to you for you understanding about the various idea or thought process. I try to talk to you for you understanding about the various ideas or thought process or the thought. In this talk, I want you to understand only the thought until you can realize your thought. That means you find a way to avoid suffering in Buddhism. I show you. I show you. We call this. We call this. What you see over here now from birth to death? What you see? What you see over here now from birth to death? We see in the way we see, we hear in the way we hear. We think in the way we think. But we cannot realize that we are thinking. That's chat. That's chat. I show you. After that you see, the first one, you see in the way you see this. And hear this. You see this and hear this. Which in the fictional language we call paper box. The first one. And the second one is, you see this, which in the fictional language we call written language, which wrote that a bottle of water. The first one is you see. The second one, you see this word at the same time. Can you realize your thought? When you see this, you think, we see and think at the same time. We see this, but we think this into. Can you realize your thought? You think, you see this. As soon as you see this, and this, at first, second one, the first one, you see this, and second one, in reality, you see this, and think this into fictional language at the same time. We think, we see and think at the same time, but we cannot realize our thought that we are thinking. We see this, then we see this within a fraction of a second, and we think this into. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. You see in the way you see, you hear in the way you hear, you feel in the way you feel, you think in the way you think. But you cannot realize your thoughts that we are thinking now. A story in this talk, I try to talk to you for understand. I try to talk to you for understand only the thought. Can you understand me? Now, can you realize your thought? That you are thinking along as I said. If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, and finally you want to attain nirvana in this life, you have to listen to me only. And try to consider along as I said over and over again until it goes deep into your heart. Then you will understand it. And finally, you will have the opportunity to attain nirvana in this life. Please bear in mind.